Okay, so if you are very fortunate like me to own a Peugeot 208, what you are likely going to find is your rear washer pipe will snap at some point. It does appear like it's quite brittle plastic, and yeah, for the sake of an extra 30 pence on Peugeot's behalf, they've used very cheap plastic. In warm weather, it's just prone to snap. So this is how to replace it. First of all, we need to get the old one off. Now, if we have a look at the new part, what we'll find is on this end, this will actually go in the car, and if we track it up, we have this grommet, and then we have this grommet, and then follow it round, then we have this. This is what will go into the third brake light, so your top brake light. For anyone interested, this is your part number. So let's go back. Here we have the snapped washer. First thing we need to do is lift this seal along the sides, and what you will find is there are little tabs, and you need to try and get a screwdriver in there to release, and then pull it. As you can see, I've already taken mine off and I have already snapped it. Exactly the same for the top one. So don't be afraid to snap it, just be careful you don't damage your paint. So look at the new part again. This is how they are, and basically when that locks into the car, or rather when you push it down into the car, these tabs lock into the bodywork and then stop it from being pulled upwards, and that is actually what gives you your nice seal to stop any rain from getting into your car. So that's kind of that. Just wanted to say before I go on to the next part, and actually how you remove the trim. I should say I have already removed the driver's side, and that's where the rear washer pipe is located. So what I'm going to do is show you how to do it on the passenger side, because exactly the same principle applies. However, just to be completely clear, it is the right hand side of the car which houses the pipe, not the left. But because I've already taken that apart, it's easier for me then to show you what to do. So we'll pick it up from now. Okay, so this is the passenger side, as I say. You have a T20 screw there. You are going to have to undo that, and then really it pretty much comes down to make sure you've got your parcel shelf out. Also, you'll see why in a second, but drop your seat forward. Okay. To show you the inside of the other side, there is the offending pipe. So that one, and yeah, this is the trim, this is the layout. Maybe this will help kind of explain. So it's just a bit of trim, you pull on it in a few places. You may end up snapping this clip, but it should only be a couple of pence. And then really the only bit that could snag are these two things. You just need to put your hands in the carpet just to disconnect it really, and then it should just pop straight off. So here goes. Okay, so this is the trim. Let me just put the seat back. So as you can see, if you try and do this without having the seat down, it will actually just keep hitting. So effectively what you're doing is get your hands behind and just pull. There you go. You start to hear them crack and pop. You have them at the bottom and you have them at the top. And that is pretty much it. Just be gentle, make sure you aren't applying the greatest force, because otherwise you will damage the trim. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so you should now have this free, this free, so that should be as I say, free from the body. Same up here. You should now have this panel completely free. Here is where the carpet snags. Do be careful around this point there, because the trim does actually sit around it when it's in its normal place. You don't really need to worry about the seat belt. But now what we want to do, just before we continue, is this was a T20 bolt. This is now a T30 bolts, and then this is actually what holds your brake light on, because as we know, that is how the washer fluid comes out. So one thing I say is don't undo it fully, just get them loose. Last thing you want is if this is stuck on and you undo the screws completely, it go flying, it break, and then you have to buy a new one. So what I'm going to do now is completely undo them and then take the brake light out. Just before I move on to the brake light, which I actually started to do just then, you can see it there, I forgot to say, actually at this point just pull these off. Do be careful on this side, because the last thing you want to do is damage the pipe any further down along here. However, from this point onwards, this is what we're going to be replacing, so you don't have to be not really careful. Definitely don't have to be at this one, just be a little prudent pulling it off here, just because we don't want to damage anything else really. This is the wiring. If we need to replace it because the wiring wasn't working, disconnect this, disconnect that, take it off, refit. However, all we need to do is remove this from the brake light and then pull this pipe either this way, because we've disconnected it. In fact, let's do that now. There we go. Now we literally just take the time to disconnect this carefully, and then we will feed the new pipe through. Okay, so I've pushed the new pipe here, the other end, push this through up into the tailgate. You can see it here. Now what I need to do is attach it to the brake light. Just wanted to point out, do be careful. What you need to do is kind of semi-close the boot, but the last thing you want to do is close the boot completely, because what you can do is snap those new grommets and pipe. So kind of do it cautiously. There we go. Now that is what the pipe fits onto. You need to push it down as far as possible, so you cover this, and the idea is this snags it and stops it from pulling off particularly easily. So that's the next job. Okay, so the brake light has been put back in place. What you notice is I haven't put the screws in just yet. It is held in place at the top, however, just to stop it from rattling around, what you may wish to do is just partially screw one of them in, just help secure it while we carry on doing the next part. So, next part is, we now have new pipe in place up here. What we need to do is pull this basically off the car. Now when we look inside, we will find the pipe is secured along these tunnel brackets. However, just here, what you'll find is it's like a little clamp. However, for the most part, I can, in fact maybe I can't, so what I'll do is I'll just try and release that slightly. Okay, there you go. So just pull these away with the fingernail, and just pop that off. Let's go back up to the top, and we should now, for the most part, be able to pull it out. Okay, so just snag there, push it off and through. Okay, so we've sorted the brake light, we've fed this down and through. What you'll find is there are securing brackets, and they are approximately here. Now what you can do is just pull the roof down. As you can see, I've got a little crease. I'll live with that because it's far cheaper me doing this than a dealer. I have heard some dealers have quoted 150, but you can pass the pipe through kind of a screwing clip there, but do try and get it through there, get it through that one, and then what you do is just push these together and just pinch that to make sure it's nice and tight. Give this a little bit of a tug, because the last thing we want to do is reinstall everything and find the washer actually leaks onto the roof trim. That wouldn't be ideal at all. So just to confirm, at this point we have the third brake light in situ, we have the pipe running through. We should now have it connected. Before we reinstall everything and put it back to how it was, let's just test it, because if there are any issues we need to know about it now. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so as you can see, the washer has done its thing. The car is now wet. However, one thing I've just found is your tailgate does actually have to be closed. So bearing in mind that these clips aren't fully in situ, just try and gently close the tailgate, because otherwise your rear washer will not work and you'll spend 5 minutes trying to find out why, just like I did. So close the tailgate, be gentle, give it a spin, then just check for leaks. Mine's gone through absolutely fine, so all this is completely dry. So all in all, job's good. And I'm going to push this down. That then gives me a nice secure seal inside the car. There's one for the tailgate, and that is pretty much it. Do remember, pipe screws in here. You don't need to go crazy tight on it, just hand tightness. Remember, on here, feature carpet first. Do this side, get this side into position, and then really just line up all your various little clips in with the retaining slots. Be gentle. You can always take your time putting this back together, but if you break apart, snap it, you will need to order new trim. However, I'm hoping this guide has helped. I don't typically do guides, however it appears there is absolutely nothing online for this, so I'm hoping it serves a purpose, and I'm hoping you save a few quid. Cheers.